We can all agree this was a terrible year, particularly for a 29-year-old family man. We lost our dad beginning of the year after he had a heart attack, and my little 12-year-old brother had no one to take care of him. Our mom died when he was 3, so our dad was all we had left. I fought for custody and was appointed his legal guardian. Honestly, it hasn't been easy. We're still adjusting to these life changes, and my brother is taking it the hardest. For months, he was just not himself. Bad attitude, lashing out. I got him in therapy because I knew he was just hurting, plus stress of pandemic. His behavior has improved so much since then. Even if sometimes there's days where he's withdrawn. Days before Christmas, he was feeling sad since it was our first holiday without Dad. That day, he asked to be left alone. We had a talk to discuss his feelings, and I gave him his space after that. My girlfriend was over that day, and I went out to buy groceries. When I got back, my brother was out of his room and helping out. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Yesterday, my brother and I were out having some guy time before going back home to get ready for New Year's Eve. My brother opened up about how grateful he is for everything, and he hopes that I don't change my mind about taking care of him. I asked why he'd think that, and he told me what happened. That day when I was out, my girlfriend went to his room to tell him he needs to change his attitude and stop moping, her exact words, because he should be grateful I'm taking care of him at all, and that we can still hand him over to the state if we wanted to. I was furious about this and had to reassure him that was never going to happen because he really was worried about it. We went home, I confronted my girlfriend, and she didn't deny it. She told me it's true and there was nothing wrong with telling him to stop acting like that when he should be grateful I gave up my life to take care of him. And the thing about giving him up isn't that big of a deal to her because it's not like I'll actually do it. I said she still scared him with that threat and told her to leave my apartment because honestly, I was far too mad and because I didn't want her to be near him right now. She started crying. There was more fighting, but she left in the end. It was just me and my brother for New Year's. Since last night, I've been bombarded with calls from all our friends for kicking her out, knowing she has no family and nobody else to spend the holiday with. Everyone has sided with her, and even my best friend says I may have overreacted by making her leave when she probably thought she was helping. They've heard my side of the story, but still think I was an AH for making her cry and spending the new year alone. I'm having trouble seeing how I could be, so here I am looking for internet strangers to weigh in on this. So let's see what some of the comments have to say about this. Here's the first comment. So you are not the jerk. Your, hopefully, ex-girlfriend certainly is, though. She waited until you were out of the house, and she could verbally, emotionally, and mentally abuse your brother without interference. Your friends have no clue how much losing one parent affects children, let alone both in a short period. Not even getting into the mental and emotional trauma of being physically cut off from friends and activities, and possibly moving in with you, and having to change schools without being able to develop new friendships before going virtual. Due to the hellscape of the past 9 months, you need better friends. You are a great person and brother for stepping up. If he and you aren't already in grief therapy, look into it, especially for him, and the first person may not be the best fit. This is what the next comment had to say. You are not the jerk, but your girlfriend sure is. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You really need to rethink your relationship with her because your priority should be your brother. I would be concerned about having her around your brother when you are not there. She waited until you were not around to threaten a 12-year-old with abandonment. Considering your comment that she had no family and nowhere to go, it is unfathomable that she could be so cruel to your brother. She may switch to more covert tactics to destroy your brother in the hopes that he will act out enough that you will send him away. The fact that she worded it as "we can send him away" is very telling. She has no say in your decision to care for your brother. It sounds like she wants to make him go away. Think about if you were to have a child together, how she would treat your brother. The original poster came back with an update. Here is what he said. Okay, wow, this has gotten a ton of feedback. Thanks everyone for your kind and encouraging words. I might not have replied to a lot of the comments that made me smile, but just know that I read and appreciate them. I know I only posted this a few hours ago, but I've had a day to clear my head and really think about this. I talked to my brother because I wanted to know if she said anything else to him. Thankfully, she hasn't, and we had another serious chat to remind him everything she told him is completely false. I would never in a million years give him up, and that shouldn't have been put in his head. Another thing I told him was that I'm grateful he's here with me. Without him, I wouldn't have made it through the year, and I thanked him for giving me that strength to keep going. Someone who DM'd me suggested reassuring him that he's not somehow ruining my life in case he feels any guilt for what she told him. Thank you for that suggestion. Now I know you were all waiting on this news. Yes, I did break up with her. Thinking about what a lot of you said, talking to my brother about how this made him feel, and my own thoughts about how badly she acted, I decided that's not someone I want around me or him. I can't risk her doing something like this again and ruining any progress he makes in therapy. I know many of you think I should have done it on the spot, but I wanted to make this decision with a clear head and not when my emotions were extremely high. She came by my place earlier and we talked outside. Her reaction was as bad as you'd expect, and she still believed she did nothing wrong, even after I explained it all to her. There was just no making her understand, and I told her it was over. I gave her a couple of her things that were lying around my apartment, and she left. Now that concludes the original poster's update. I agree with him and the other comments that he is correct in breaking up with his girlfriend. The girlfriend still tried to defend her actions, and it validated OP decision to get him and his brother away from her. I also feel the girlfriend could have some unresolved issues since she does not have any family around, and therapy could be helpful to her as well. However, the original poster is not the jerk for kicking her out before New Year's, but the girlfriend definitely gets the boot. Right, Kitty? Let me know what you think about this and leave it in the comments. Make sure to watch the next unbelievable real-life story.